Hi.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Good, good. And you?
Awesome. I'm awesome. Nice to have you here. Hello,
Thank you.
Florence and Miss Molu. I'm sure these are your people.
Some of them.
Yes. Okay. So, thank you everyone for joining in. Today we're going to be talking about. It's all going to be all about "Always Me" by Andy. Um, we are basically sorry. Okay, sorry. Just wanted to put myself on do not disturb. Okay, so we're going to be having some some treats from Always Me in our subscription box for November. And so we just want to talk about all the offerings from Always Me and some of the issues. Well, one of the issues that really gets to moms, which is teething. Okay, so please, okay, so Nkem is one of the co-founders. She and her sister Ashim, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes.
Okay, started the company. I'm just going to let her to do, allow her to do the rest of the intros, and then we'll, start our chat.
Okay,
Okay,
cool. So,
yeah.
my name is Nkem, and I'm a co-founder of Always Me by Andy. I founded the company together with my sister. The inspiration behind the brand came while my sister was pregnant. I was looking for a gift for her, and I wanted something that was very unique. I wanted it to have some kind of African, influence and background as well. And I just couldn't find anything, right? And I think, for me, that was like very nerve wracking, number one, because it's the first baby in our family. So I was super excited. And I was really, really like, I kept thinking about it. And then one night I had a dream where I dreamt about making an Ankara playmat. In the dream, I made many, but I didn't really understand why I made many, right? But anyway, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is it. This is the gift I want to get. And I went and found all sorts of old Ankara. I went to the market, found somebody who could actually make it. Um, Bought all the different pieces. I was there from like 11 a.m. in the morning till 7 p.m. in the evening. And then the first, Always Me by Andy playmat was done. And well, when I gave it to her at the baby shower, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" And then I got some orders from there. And then after the baby was born, we now decided, okay, you know what? Let's be serious about this and actually, you know, m- see if there's a business case, right? So we did a lot of market research, and at some point we realized, okay, there's really nobody playing in this space, right? Um, Bespoke baby items are, you know, globally getting more and more,
Popular.
yeah, people want more and more bespoke things for their babies. So we started making, playmats, and then we extended the range. Now we have, I think, about 26 products, and we're about to launch a couple new ones. So watch this space.
Um,
Yes, so so we have lots of different ones that are around nursing, for example. So we've got nursing essentials, we have stuff for
nursing
teething,
cover.
we've got
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we have a nursing cover, we've got a
Pillow.
nursing pillow as well. Um, and then we've got, stuff around teething as well. So we've got our organic teething rings and some sensory teething toys. We also have a couple of sensory items, and then some. Our fashion range is very small. It's really just basics, stuff that you can combine so your kid looks cute. Cute little African sayings, stuff that's basically missing in the market. So for us, it's really important that every product, number one, is developed in a way that we use it for our own kids. So our kids are like our guinea pigs, um, and they have to test all the products. Unfortunately, now they're like all
Bigger.
toddlers and
Mm-hmm.
big, so they can't test the baby products anymore. But we usually try and find other babies that then help us test and make sure that our the products actually are attractive to the kids, because I think that to us is the most important thing.
Okay. So, I'm digressing from the main focus of this chat, but just for those for new moms, because we deal with a lot of first time moms. Why play mats and why patchwork? Why Ankara? I mean, in terms of yes, I know you wanted something African inspired, but what else does the Ankara do or help to do?
Okay, so I mean, babies are really stimulated by all of their different senses, right? And one of them is sight. So the different colors really, really attract babies, and we see it all the time. If we have a playmat out, maybe at a stand or at an exhibition, or in a play group or something, the kids, like any age, really, they just jump on it, and then like to them, it's like the best thing since sliced bread. So it's really, really, the colors are very vibrant, and one of the things that you realize when you look at a lot of baby products, that they are all like pastel, white, baby blue, baby pink. So there's not a lot of variety and not a lot of color. But if you look at like the baby toys, like let's look at like the Lamaze toys and a range of other toys. They're super colorful. The reason why they're super colorful is because, you know, babies are actually attracted to it and they can learn so many things through it. So, and the Ankara, the good thing about it is that apart from color, it has shapes on it as well. So, a lot of the time the
Patterns and
Ankara yeah, so even the Ankara that we source, we try and source Ankara that, you know, has maybe stars or little horses or,
or
little
worlds and
shapes.
things.
Yes, or flowers or something. So you can also, kind of point out shapes on the Ankara playmats as well. They're really nicely padded, so they're super safe. A lot of the time when you're a new mom and like nobody tells you this, you are like, oh my God, I'm like carrying this child 24 hours, and like it's quite stressful. And sometimes you just, need to use the loo or just want 5 minutes to sit on a chair and just say, okay, I'm still a person, and not just a mom, right?
Yeah.
And it can be overwhelming at times. So the playmats are really nice to just put your baby in a safe place, right? So from when they're very small, they can lie on their backs, and then when they can lift their head, they can lie on their tummies. You can get those tummy time books as well and put them kind of like on the mat with a tummy time book in front of them. And then, like they have a blast. What I did as well for my son, I had like a little triangular thing that had like little stuff dangling down. So just
Oh,
put him on
like a
his back.
gym.
Yes,
But you
exactly.
made
But this
that.
one was no, I didn't make it. So it was I bought it in London, but it's like made out of wood.
Okay.
So because I'm half
Oh,
German, a lot
okay,
of
okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
So
gym. It's a
yes,
gym.
so
So
it
you
is
can
a
move
gym,
it
but it's
around.
just a wooden, yeah, but it's just a wooden one, right? So in Germany, a lot of the baby toys and children's toys in general are made out of wood. So, like that's kind of the stuff that I grew up with. So for me, I really gravitate towards wooden toys as opposed to plastic toys. Like whenever
Plastic.
I get plastic toys, I'm like, like people give you gifts and I'm like, okay, yeah, thank you very much, but, half the time those ones kind of get pushed aside
Put
because
away.
you know yeah. So anyway, so he had this little gym, and that was like his joy, like he'll just lie on his mat and then like play with the gym. Then when he could start turning, he would turn, he would look at the colors. The playmats also have these little velour appliques, so they're textured basically, so the babies can learn touch as well, which is really
Okay.
good. um that's so stimulating yet another sense,
Yeah.
right? So they can touch it, and then obviously it's like different shapes, so we have like little dinosaurs and shovels and hammers and all sorts of different little items that they can kind of identify as well. So as they grow, you keep using the mat for different purposes. We have mats in 5 different sizes, so they really are very versatile. So you can have a small one that is big enough for the baby to kind of roll over a couple of times,
And
or
if you have
one
a
where you
small flat, yeah, or a small bed.
yes, exactly. Or so they come in a little carrier bag. So those small ones are actually quite handy if you're, like you're visiting
Traveling.
your parents, or you're traveling, or like, and you just want, or you're visiting a friend that maybe doesn't have kids. You just want to be able to put your baby down and not carry your baby all the time. So you can take it with you, so that's quite handy. And then obviously we go up to 2 meter 50 by 2 meter 50 for those people with very, very big spaces. We're able to waterproof the backs of the mats as well, so you can take them out in the garden, to the beach, or anywhere outdoors, really. That
Oh,
kind of,
but we have to
yeah. So
ask for that to be done.
yes,
Make
exactly.
sure
So
it's
we usually offer it. We usually offer it. The ones that we have, in stock usually don't have it because it's at an extra cost, and not everybody, wants that. But we have made quite a few, um, for people who are like, you know what, I have a garden. I want to be able to take it out in the garden. So the waterproof, helps, number one, with like it not being able to kind of soak up any kind of water from the grass, but also allows it to be cleaned easier because you can just wipe the back then, once you're done, and you kind of roll it back up. So yeah.
okay. All right. So the wooden can we go straight to teething? We already did a bit
Yes.
of a post on it, so can you take it away?
Okay,
How
so
yeah, in relation
okay,
to
go on.
teething,
Ask
yeah.
your question.
Yeah, so could you tell us about like things that moms could do to help their babies with the discomfort of teething?
Okay, so I mean, I think when it comes to discomfort of teething, obviously, you kind of will work with, whatever your baby goes for, right? A lot of the time, that's your finger, but you can not, your finger is not always there, right? Sometimes you have kids that get the silicone teethers and they just throw them away. So
Yeah,
my son was one of them. I bought a really
my
cute
daughter
one that was
didn't like.
yeah, I bought this really cute one that was shaped like an elephant. It had little knobs, and he just thought it was a toy. So he would look at it and he would smile at it, and I'm like, "No, in your mouth." And I'm trying to put it in his mouth, and it just didn't work, right? Um, so that was also one of the reasons why I kind of looked at alternative options for teething rings. And I realized that they're actually wooden teething rings. So we did a little bit of research into that, and then we found um, maple wood teething rings in the States, right? And these are basically, they're untreated maple wood.
Okay.
One of the things that you should know as a new mom is that maple wood is naturally, or wood in general, is naturally antibacterial, right? So
Oh, okay.
if you think about why we use chewing stick, right? Chewing stick is
Yeah,
just wood. The
yeah.
reason why it works is because it's naturally antibacterial.
Um,
Teething. Teething rings are basically, they're perfectly safe. They're completely sanded down.
yeah.
As I said, we bring the rings in from the States, so they also have all the health and safety certifications over there and are certified as teething rings, and perfectly fine for baby to use. They come with a little Ankara strap, so, and then a little clip at the end of it, so you can clip it to your baby's t-shirt or onesie or whatever they're wearing, so that it doesn't fall on the floor. Um, but even if it does fall on the floor, you don't need to sterilize it. You can just kind of wipe it off, and then it's good to go again. The
Okay.
texture of the teething ring, again, it's wood. It's perfectly sanded down, so it's very kind of like silky and smooth. But if you kind of like press on the wood is very similar to your finger, right? In
Oh,
terms of
okay.
like how hard the bone in your finger is. And I think that's really what, and even like the width of it is exactly like a finger. So it's really, I think that's also, one of attracts babies to the teething ring
The
because
teether,
they
yeah.
feel very, very comfortable with it, and they're able to really, like, bite on it as much as they want. And all the babies that we've sold it to, the parents are super happy and they're very excited because they're like, finally my baby has it. And that they're not constantly throwing away, or they don't really like it. You don't need to sterilize it, which is also very helpful because you already sterilized way too many things in the first place. So yeah, and you basically don't, there's like not much you have to do to care for it, right? So just kind of like wipe it off, and make sure that it's clean, but And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it.
And
So cute.
it comes in lots of different colored straps.
Mhm.
Thank
Mhm.
you. So it
Mhm.
comes with lots of different colored straps. So we've got the ones for
Mhm.
boys, girls, neutral ones,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, and because the clip is there, you also can't lose it. So that's
Yeah.
also a very good thing.
Mhm. Mhm. I think, I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, it actually looks very good as well. As in, it's pleasing to the eyes.
Yes, it
It's quite
is.
nice. It's quite nice.
Thank you.
And also the fact that, because if you see, there's a ribbon that attaches the Ankara to it, is a different texture from the Ankara itself, which is cotton.
Yes,
So that's also another sensory, some sort of sensory stimulation for the baby. Yeah.
exactly.
So basically, the wooden teethers are addressing um which the trying to help with teething using pressure, as opposed to using cold or painkillers.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the time, like even when they use your finger, they're just really biting on it really hard.
Yeah.
And obviously it hurts your finger at some point. So,
Yeah.
and then maybe you're not there all the time to allow them to do that. And really and truly, like even if you have a nanny, you wouldn't want them to be biting your nanny's finger, right? So,
Yeah.
it's really important for them to have something because they put their own hands in their mouth, but they actually don't bite themselves, right? So
Yeah.
they just kind of like use the hands to scratch their gums. And then
Yeah.
when they get your hand, they're like, yeah, let me bite this thing as if they're eating
Yeah.
chicken or something,
Yeah.
so yeah, so having a teether definitely helps them to really, really, and like once you give it to them, you can actually see how like they start like really drooling but it really soothes their gums, and I think that's really important for them at that stage when they're teething.
Okay, so I was going to ask, there are two questions that come out of that. First of all, how many teething rings should your child have ideally? And then what's the, I mean, how long can we have this for? Can a mom have it for?
Okay, so I mean, you can have it as long as you want. The truth is that they only really need it in the beginning stages. Once they have like their main teeth, they don't really, like then it's more of, like your babies get fevers when they're teething, when the molars come out, but they don't really bite that much in terms of, like at least my son was like that. At some point, he didn't need a teether anymore. It was really when the two upper and the two lower were coming out, where he was constantly drooling and constantly biting on my hand or his teether.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then when the molars came out, it was more like, because those come out over such a long period of time, right? And then by that time, they're already eating solids and all of that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
at that point, it was more like he was in pain. So it was more for me to kind of find out, okay, you're in pain, and then maybe like use like Bonjela, to kind of soothe the pain.
Yeah.
And then he got a lot of fevers as well while he was teething. So it was really like, identify that this is from teething and not, some other kind of infection or malaria or something, and just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that, he's as comfortable as possible. A lot of the time when they get fevers when they're teething, they're not really like everything else is fine. They're like running around or crawling around, and they're
Mm-hmm.
completely fine. But you're like, but this boy has a fever. He should really be resting, but they're
Yeah.
fine. It's just their body kind of like, I think,
Some sort
working.
of yeah, information, or and then also
Yeah,
things that they put in their mouths, in the process of trying to get some comfort as well.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and then okay, the other question I was going to ask was, what's the, because I don't think it's only Germany. I think Scandinavian toys tend to be wooden as well.
Yes, so a
What
lot
is
of
that?
like so I think that
Do you wake up? Okay, so we'll give Nkem some time. When she comes back, we'll talk about the other some of the other products that they have. So as part of the subscription info, which include nipple creams. We have nipple creams from Medela and also from Lancino. So this is like a smaller size. We have a larger size which go for about 4/8, but these ones are like smaller sizes of nipple cream. Hello everyone. Nkem had to step out for a bit, and then we have samples of our breast milk storage bags as well, and we have nursing pads as part of the subscription box. So we're going to be having something from Always Me by Andy. We haven't decided what that is yet. But she also has this, and this is actually called Crinkle. What's it called? A Crinkle Claw. Yeah, and it's a sensory toy for babies. So it makes noise, and my child has a teddy. It's an elephant, and the elephant ears are made out of this crinkly cloth, and it's quite engaging for the child. So it also has ribbons that are different textures. Now you have the Ankara, which is different colors and has different patterns, which is very stimulating for the baby. And then we have these ribbons. Some of them have horizontal lines, some of them have vertical lines, some of them are rough, some of them are smooth. So it's something that a lot of children would want to play with to keep them occupied, especially if you're traveling or maybe you're somewhere and you don't want them to be too much of a bother. Then from Always Me also, they have pacifier clips. Yeah, and these are also Ankara. You can see here they're made from Ankara, and the end of it is plastic. So this prevents your baby from, a lot of times you give them pacifier to play with, and then sometimes they take them out of their mouths and maybe throw them on the floor. So in the process of taking them out, at least they wouldn't drop on the floor, just be attached to the baby's clothes. But just it's only best if the baby is moving around. It's not advised to use these if the baby is maybe sleeping, lying down. If you're just out and about and you don't want to have to keep on trying to sterilize your she's back. Fantastic. Yeah, okay. So I'll leave her to continue. We'll wait for her. So pacifier clips. Hello, Silicon Dawn. The crinkle paper and the organic tea. Okay, so she's connecting. Just give her a few more minutes. So the subscription boxes are basically, oh, hi, hello. Hi. Are you all right there? So if you guys have any questions for us, please you can start typing them up now. Questions on how to order from her, if you want to order directly, how much, if you're interested in subscription boxes as well, send me direct. Let's see. Let me try again. Yeah, so we're putting one of these things in the one of these lovely items in the subscription box. I'll wait for her to come in. We're having some challenges with her network.
Yeah, my Instagram
Hi. Oh,
somehow keeps
sorry.
crashing.
But I'm glad you're back. So we're just going to go quickly to the crinkle claw. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the crinkle. Well, we call it Crinkle Square.
Crinkle Square. The Crinkle Square. Okay, so it's So I was telling them about my daughter's elephant with the crinkly ears. So please tell us about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so obviously, like, as every new mom, you buy lots and lots of toys for your baby, and, you're super excited about it. And then, they end up liking just one. And in my son's case, so I was, we were developing the Crinkle Square as a new product, and he was about 3 months old. So I was like, okay, you test this thing. And then he became obsessed with it. It was like the only thing that would keep him occupied for a long time. Everything else, he kind of looks at it and he's like, nah. You give him that, and 30 minutes, he's like, they're, because they love the fact that they are generating the sounds, right? And then they realize, like, the realization that that's what they're doing is so exciting to them. So you see them, they move one hand and then it makes a noise, and then you see their eyes light up and they're smiling, then they stop, and then it's like silence, and they're like, wow. So I think that, that really, really stimulates them. Obviously, so the Crinkle Squares are basically, it's two-sided, so two different Ankara patterns on each side. And then they're usually very colorful as well. And, like the patterns have different colors. And then it has lots of ribbons on the side. So the ribbons are really great for them to kind of tug at. So when they're about 3 months, that's when they kind of like start doing their fists open
Yeah.
and close like that. Um, and when they're doing that, like they can really put their fingers through the loops and, like hold on to it. So they love the fact that they can hold something because it's super light. It's like one of the only toys that they can actually hold by themselves. And yeah, and then so the ribbons, at some point they start putting them in their mouth as well, but the ribbons all have, like, some of them have different textures. So some of them are smooth, and then also like colors. So some of them have like maybe polka dots on it. Some of them are just like regular,
Plain.
one colored ribbons.
This one is plain polka
Yeah.
dots, and
So
then this one yeah.
exactly, colored and plain. So the ribbons are actually special ribbons that we import for, that are actually made for toys. So, they're, and for baby toys specifically. So they're very safe. They don't, like, the threads don't come out. And like the way that they're attached, they're sewn in really, really well, so that they don't, like, so that even if you pull it quite hard, it doesn't come off. And then there's crinkle paper inside, which is also super safe. You can put these things in the washing machine or hand wash them. So whenever they get really yucky, because the babies will put them in their mouth at some point, and then it's like completely soaked, and you're like, yuck, what is this? So yeah, you can just wash them, and they come
The
out
colors
exactly
don't
the
run
same.
into
And
each other
then,
or anything like that.
no. So all the Ankara we source is very high quality Ankara. Because it's for babies, we're super careful with, the kind of brands that we use for Ankara. So we only buy specific brands, of Ankara, and those ones, they don't run, they don't wash. So even after, a long time, you still have exactly the same color. So we make Ankara pants as well, and I've got Ankara pants that I've had for 4 years now. And whenever I wear them at exhibitions, people are like, "Oh, I want this pattern." And I'm like, "This pattern is 4 years old." And they're like, "No, it's not possible. You've had this pants for 4 years." And I'm like, "Yes." And, they're like, "Wow, that's amazing." I'm like, "Yes, but if you buy quality, Ankara, then it actually doesn't run, it doesn't wash, and you can use it for a really, really long time.
So, can you tell us about the pantyhose tips
Oh, yeah,
again?
our pacifier clip. Yeah, so the pacifier clip. So one of the things, so my son didn't use a pacifier because I had way too many friends who had kids before me who had, like a really hard time getting their kids off the pacifier at a later stage, right? Where, they are like, my kid is almost 4 and is still like trying to have its pacifier at least in the night or in the evening. And but one of the things that I did see was that a lot of like moms, like maybe you're walking somewhere and then you see a mom and she's kind of like carrying so many things, and then the pacifier now falls on the floor, it's full of sand, and she's just like, oh God, and then maybe you help her pick it up. And then, so for me, it was just like, this thing, like is constantly falling up and down. So why can't you attach it somewhere? And then um, it was kind of like when we were doing the teething rings, we were like, okay, this same concept we can use for pacifiers. So we just made pacifier clips, and then started kind of like looking at them. And what we try to do is kind of like we got different types of pacifiers to kind of make sure that they would fit the attachment part at the bottom fits with as many different pacifiers as possible, so that it's not kind of focused for one particular pacifier. Because what we found is that there are other pacifier clips in the
Yeah.
market, obviously, but a lot of them are specific for a specific
Oh.
brand. So if you maybe have a tummy teether, then you have to buy the tummy TP pacifier clip to it, right? So I mean, it's a value added sale for the brands, which is super smart. But a lot of the time those ones are pretty plain. They're like one colored or black and white, or maybe like white with some stars on it or something. These are super colorful, they're fun, they're affordable, so you can get multiple of them as well. And kind of just interchange them, make sure that they match your baby's outfit and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. If you're really into different colors and matching stuff.
So just a little bit more about the crinkle squares. Um, I always used to wonder. I mean, I'm for the whole learning through play and all that. I've done a lot of reading about it. But then have you do you know anything about, maybe research about the difference between a child who was exposed to these things like this and children who just had, um who grew up the way. Okay. Okay, so Nkem is having he lost her. Yeah, maybe her son woke up again. I hope my daughter doesn't wake up soon. So basically, I think we've sort of run through everything. They have Always by Me has three lines. It has a line for baby, then it has a lifestyle line, which is children's clothes, and then it has the line that does nursing pillows and nursing covers. But those will not be coming as subscription box for November. But we're going to choose between the crinkle square, the pacifier clip, and the organic teeter. So in our stories, we're going to do a poll, and you decide which one you want in subscription box. So this week we're going to put up the forms for signing up for the subscription box. And basically, if you're not familiar, subscription box is a box of items from different vendors and from Eddie and Emiko as well. And these items are sample sizes. So you are getting them, you get to try them out without breaking the bank. And then if you like them, then you can now decide to contact the vendors or Eddie and Emiko, that's for Eddie and Emiko products directly, and order them. It's a nice gift as well for a new mom because everything comes in small sizes. Last month we did share oil, glow oil from Aram Essentials, which is from Share Oil. We had a sugar body scrub. We had edibles. That was shake powder and lactation tea from Milky Express, and we had lactation cookies from Breastfeeding NG. Then from Eddie and Emiko, we had nipple cream, breast milk storage bags, and nursing pads. Then we also had a voucher for a 10-minute free 10-minute consultation from a lactation consultant. We had discount vouchers for carton of diapers from two vendors. And then we had what else we had? We had also information for new unborn breastfeeding and all that. We also had discount vouchers from Eddie and Emiko. So thank you so much everyone who's joined in. If you want to learn more about Always Me by Andy, you can they have a page on Instagram, and then it has all the information, and they also have a website too. The link to the website's on their bio as well. If you're interested about Eddie and Amy Co., we are a company that provides gift boxes for new moms, especially first time moms. And these boxes contain products that are specially selected to help support the mom through her recovery after delivery and also support her through breastfeeding. So we have um, the items which I talked about in the nursing and the subscription boxes, as well as other things such as um, nipple shields. We have like mini toiletries for the baby, depending on what box you get, perennial wipes, perennial bottles, all these things to help moms with recovery, so that they can take care of themselves and then be in a better state to take care of their babies, as opposed to, you know, bearing the pain and all that, just to make moms a little bit more comfortable and feel better about themselves. So thank you so much everyone who joined in, and this video will be up for 24 hours, and then we'll post it on our YouTube page, and then we'll do a summary of all the talking points um, in a post as well. So we're going to do a poll. You get to choose between the organic teether, the crinkle square, or the pacifier clip from Always Me. And whichever one wins will end up being in the subscription box for November. We're going to be taking orders this week, and we'll stop taking orders on the 30th of October, and the boxes will go out by the first week of November. Thank you so much everyone, and have a fantastic week. Bye.